So Bentley, I'm just letting you know I'm teaching class today.
Yeah. Okay.
Watch over here.
Do you want your chair? Do I have it, this small chair or this?
I can do this.
So Bentley, thank you for helping me in class today. So just so you know what we're doing, but you like working on standing anyway. He probably wants a Toyer though anyway to go into standing.
He just wants to be busy.
We're here, Bentley.
Ooh.
So just when you approach a child, any child, I first get established with their system. I don't care what your agenda is. You have to look at who you're working with. And I'll show you, I'll prove to you. I can touch you in a way, you'll have instant startle. It's very mild, and then I can show you how to just touch and there'll be no reaction from the system. It's just, because when I put a system into startle, whether it's, quote, on those balls, and that's why I'm really against people throwing these kids on balls for the sake of therapy, grabbing it, sitting even myself on a ball, and going like this, saying, we're working on your vestibular. They're like, oh, you know. Their system, when you put a system into startle, the learning has stopped. So you have to wait for the system to come back to normal, for that startle to calm down, for them to be available. Or you can just try and work with them not to put them in startle. Now, that being said, there's healthy stresses and unhealthy stresses. I get it. Once in a while, you know, I'll be working on a client. I swear to God, she comes every day at 11:35 a.m., my mailman, and I think, who's coming in here, you know, because I'm not expecting them. I'm like, you'd think after 5-some years I'd get used to mailman time, but nope, my system's in a lesson and I jump. So this is perfect. Bentley's getting engaged with his vision while I'm starting to engage his pelvis. Now again, what I'm starting to do, yeah, and you can pull up a chair or bring the chair over. I'm pretty easy here. That's why I went with blowing out the walls.
That's good. Yeah, thanks.
So the one thing with the way that the system works too, if this pelvis is slow to respond, I'm not talking a cognitive slow, but if you have a slow bum, you're not going to have fast fine motor skills. The fine motor skills are going to reflect whatever the systems are doing. And if that pelvis doesn't synchronize, it's going to be very hard to synchronize the hands. So just working with tilting the pelvis, again, always with the rotation, but see how it's just a pre-crawl. I'm just starting to activate a system to set him up. But see now, as that starts to happen, he'll start to engage. So as he's doing that, I'm taking his cues. I'm going to start rotating his pelvis, helping his hand, and then bringing him around.
Yes, you like that.
But see how the vision.
You like
I pull him back a little bit just to kick in his vision. And then I'll catch him just to make sure he's stable. Notice I'm not fixing him. I'm slowly coming underneath him to offer him the opportunity to do it, but I'm not grabbing his arms and propping him into all fours. Because again, he has to learn, just like I was doing on the ball and stuff, how to come over his system. You can lay there on your elbow like this and then present over to the hand and come back. But if you don't know how to transfer your weight, you're not going to get a kid to sit there and present onto all fours or start going into a pre-crawl. Because to crawl, you have to be able to shift through the pelvis. So when I'm slowly bringing him down, very slowly, where his feet are going to come to the floor.
There's your arm. There's your arm.
So I'm going to come in, tuck in underneath here again, just to stabilize his pelvis. I can drop my chair down. And now his feet are coming down. Now same thing, I'm not necessarily going to correct the feet right just yet and put them into a flat stand. But this is where Rachel's great. Some moms, obviously, when you do therapies, are gonna be sitting over there on their iPad, have a nice day. You have a right to engage them or not to engage them. Some could care less. Yeah, you're there for the child, not for. But what I'm doing here is I'm constantly stimulating and just lightly rotating his pelvis. But see the difference in his spine when that vision changes?
Yeah.
Even if it's briefly.
And with Bentley, I have to use some sound too because he has the eye problem. So, but once he hears it, he'll find it in his eyes.
And he's checking out the room now.
Oh.
Now he's just,
This is so cool. I love Michelle. I love movement. Dad.
but you see, so far, knock on wood, I'm not getting a kid that's crying. I'm not getting a kid that's unhappy. He's totally learning. He's just checking out, hanging out with his grandma and his friends. Let that do all the work for me. I'm just here to stabilize the back.
We love it. Nice. Chickamauga, is it your birthday? Say it's my birthday. It's my birthday too.
Awesome, Bentley.
Love
Can't
you.
believe it fell. Wow.
Oh, you're so big. You're pushing.
So I
up.
might have to do a little now stimuli here. And again, sometimes I just have to lightly touch. And also that, is he fussing a little bit because of the stand, or is he just fussing because this is just not grabbing his attention?
Ooh, it's so pretty. It's all in bloom.
But I never ever just sticking him in a position where he's just stagnant. See how I'm going over like this? And I'm really starting to tilt him now. Granted, I totally concur that if I walked away, he'd face plant. I get that. But you see how I'm working with the breathing and the vision and just his spine getting more accustomed to working in this position.
Oh, that's so nice.
But that being said, I want 3 minutes of success versus 20 minutes of failure. With my hands all around him, I'll start to see if he's fatiguing or that, you know, and I have to bring him up to lying down, give him a break. Gotta give him a break.
Control.
Are you rotating him through his head like you're praying?
Oh, yeah,
rotation
yeah,
here?
Yeah, I've got-
Standing.
I've got my left hand on the one side of the profile, it's actually on the right side where I'm around the chest. So I'm actually twisting my left hand this way and my right hand. But I'm not rocking him.
Yeah.
See, if I rock him, I lose all the breathing and vision,
Yeah.
you know. He's not a play toy.
Oh, it's okay.
So now that was a big drop, so I don't want him to fatigue. So I come up here with my knee, with his knee, as if he was just crawling up onto the table.
Hi, you want to bring your head over there? Yeah, it's funny.
And then I'll just roll him back. So he can just chill out.
I really like it.
But while I'm doing that, you'll still see me rotating through the lower leg, through the pelvis. Because again, if he was a little baby, he would have had all these movements, you know, as he's playing with the, but he's so used to, let me lie here, stabilize my balance. People think that that's a CP. Is it a CP or is he locking his legs into such a way that he's just affecting his balance? Because he doesn't want to be out of balance. Again, if he's out of balance, he can't learn. I always use this analogy, if I put you on a ladder and started shaking it, you know, you're not going to learn Russian. So that's how you have to look at some of these kids. Is it the diagnosis or is it the environment?
He just found his
He
thumb.
just found his thumb for the first time. He was just sucking on his thumb. And he's done this. He's never done this. Thumb's always out. He's like, I have a new toy.
Oh. That is such happiness. It will be with you always.
So again, as he's coming around, the arm's coming around.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, you love it.
But see, the difference that he doesn't know, am I doing the work or is he doing the work? I'm just here to keep him successful. I'm gonna come down now and go bring to my other knee.
So beautiful.
I'm letting him learn how to bring his feet down. I'm not just boom, putting him down on the floor, you know?
Yeah.
So right now it's just his toes. So 1 second his toes hit, he's starting to march a little bit when he finds that.
Nice.
But just like you're sitting, you're shifting through your left side. You know, none of us, way she's sitting, way she's sitting, we're not symmetrical beings. That's not how we move.
Yeah.
But you never see me say or do stuff like, let's cross midline, let's.
Bentley's therapist puts him on a round ball and then rolls it forward and tells him, catch! And I'm like, are you insane? Do you not see the terror in his eyes? Why would he do that if he can't even roll?
Not only that, but my whole argument is, if I went out in the street and took some stranger and threw him on the ball, they would be like, lady, you're
Are you
higher than a
kidding
kite, I'm calling the cops.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
So
What are you talking
Bentley doesn't know, even
No.
me. I have to every time
Well, he
make
just
sure,
doesn't even know that movement.
but even forget the movement. I never touch a child in a way, Bentley doesn't know me in a sense from a hole in the wall. You know what I
Right.
mean? Now, he knows me, I get
Right.
it. Kitty knows me, but at the
Right.
same time, I never just
Jump
you know what I
in.
mean? Jump in.
Yeah.
I can't explain to him saying, this will be really good for your
It'll be so
vestibular."
fun, Bentley.
And
And
now,
he's
now I'm putting him on an object that might be cold, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And going, again, a speed that's faster than
Very
his
fast.
system. That's
Very
why I like
fast.
bringing him down slow, making
Very
sure.
fast. I'm like,
Now, if I was working on a child that's more of a couch jumper, then yeah, I'd have no problem with bringing them down. But I have to go with the speed of their system and maybe a little bit higher, but I can't supersede it. But he can't even bring his arms over his shoulders, much less where he's going to, or his vision.
and I don't want to seem ungrateful because, you know, I mean, I'm grateful, but sometimes I'm like,
No, but there's a difference, like I said, if I had done this to a stranger and grabbed them, they'd call the cops. There's a difference between grateful and child abuse. And looking back, there were things done to my child where if a strange man from a park did them, we'd be arrested. But yet it's okay because, no offense.
there's a license involved.
Right. So
Yeah.
now I can start correcting the foot because he's almost presenting flat on the right side.
Pretty.
And I've got the back stabilized because he's found his hands. So now I can start again this light rotation, rotating my knee. Where I again, see how much more now his hands are stable and he's working, see he's figuring it out.
It's so big, baby. Do you mind, Michelle?
Oh gosh, I don't care.
Whoa,
Now he's marching.
This is your birthday. Oh, the baby.
Happy
God,
birthday,
I love you. You're so big.
But see again, the second the eyes are working for that iPad, you know,
Yeah, don't you?
just a difference of just how the spine's functioning based off of the vision. And this is just the biggest misconception people make, that the eyes are separate. You know, most people don't realize, like if I were to blindfold you, you know, and kept you there for a couple hours, you could almost get nauseous,
Yeah.
you know. A lot of the VI master students down at U of A get sick the first time that they're blindfolded for that long because it just messes so much with their vestibular system that they can't, the system starts to malfunction.
Oh, you're so big.
Get this close with Beneful Healthy Smile. Dental snakes.
I just want to show you the pictures.
So,
Oh, you're so tall. Yeah, you're so tall. It's a busy beaver. It's a busy beaver. You love busy
That's really good, Bentley.
Is this the first time you've tried to stand him up?
Second.
Oh, Bentley.
So your hand's on his hip?
So right now I have his hand, my thumb into his hip. I've got my, the four fingers down around the femur to work on the rotation. So I'm around the trochanter that way. And then I'm just stimulating the shoulder enough. So I'm not pulling him back like a little soldier, but I'm stimulating that femoral rotation and the spine going that way. Because that's another thing that happens with cerebral palsy, is the femur wants to stay stagnant to brace. You know what I mean? So the back has to do all that work. Versus,
you. Ooh, Bentley.
but this is the part here where you start seeing such huge jumps in vision, because his system is learning how to stand and see at the same time, not just see in this position.
Yeah.
So his breathing gets to change, his diaphragm gets to drop out, and that all changes where the eye functions can start working much more efficiently, upper and lower quadrant, going up and down.
So that's different even from tummy time.
Oh yeah, because in
Okay.
tummy time, it's more of a head thrust and stuff.
Right.
But it doesn't allow that diaphragm to drop properly. Depending on the child, especially again with CP, you tend to have a much more overactive C7 area, upper thorax, where the head wants
That
to.
feels
Right.
good. That feels nice, doesn't it?
And see, right now too, if I let go, I'm bringing him back too far. But too far for whom? Again, now he's learning how to keep his hands and his system stable to lean up.
You're doing so nice.
There we go. See, now his chest is learning how to twist
Beautiful.
and hold the head.
You're so beautiful.
His whole butt is just sliding. All of a sudden, all his muscles are just going. And this is what will happen too. All of a sudden, they'll almost go to a low tone effect, and then they have to learn to find what the right tone is.
Right. Okay. Because we have to get them out of the tone for them to build real
Well,
functional
he has to know what
movement.
tone is right. Problem is when you have a high tone or a low tone, your muscles are trying to act as a skeletal system. Your skeletal system is supposed to be doing the
Okay.
job, and the muscles are just there to react,
Support.
not to be engaged 24/7.
Exactly. Okay.
Again, it's that neutral. You want to be able to go from here, and that's where the feet are so amazing. A foot can jump, stop,
Yeah.
toe point, run,
Yeah.
relax in 3 seconds. You know what I mean? Like you can go from all these different movements. So think of that. That's what the body should be doing.
Okay.
So he's rotating at the hip right now.
He's rotating at the hip and through the feet as well
The
as,
pelvis, so he's like, yeah.
and the head's now becoming much freer instead of doing this, more habitual.
I know this way is hard. So stay over here so your body relaxes.
And yeah, not only that, but you go for where success is first. Most people go with the weak. Make the strong stronger. It gives the brain more familiarity. What could be, quote,
And then
normal
slow
or
transfer.
abnormal. So now the fingers are coming out, but I'm gonna bring them back up again because we're excited for him to fatigue. So same thing, see now his eyes are staying up more as I bring him over, sort of like what I was doing on the ball. But I'm bringing his knee up, but he still hasn't flopped the head just yet. It's about to go. But see, now he's in much more position to start learning how to crawl. There we go.
Right, even though standing is technically supposed to come after crawling. I mean, like we look at,
See, what I wasn't
Yeah.
working on was standing. What I was working on was coming over the system.
right,
And that's where I don't think people realize. We're so conventionally used to seeing milestones, sitting, standing, whatever. But when I started looking at balance and counterbalance and all of that, and I'm like, we're missing this big picture. Because if I just stand like this, I can't look at her. I mean, when I'm in a stander, I'm stuck. I get it that you want to save the joint of the hip and blah, blah, blah. But this is what I have to do. And I should be able to do this. I'm not falling down, but I have a much superior counterbalance. Yes, my muscles are engaged. I can do this, I can do this. And that's all I'm working with is that whole pelvis and all that. So at first the head does this, and then eventually the head's kind of, oh. Now at first, again, he's never done it before, so it's going to have some but then he starts to control it. So now I could bring the hand here and here, but he's now, because he's played with the pelvis, he's much more, quote, symmetrical over his hands right now. But again, I would still want to tilt him back and forth. But I still say he's getting a little poop, so we'll.
Oh, it's a great job.
But see when I roll over, very careful this speed. Keeping, you watch it with the hands. My hand's always on the diaphragm, so I know if there's gonna be a startle, because I want that system to stay as relaxed so the hands stay nice and open at this point. Versus suddenly going back into that lying down, let me grab my hands. Hi, is that a new girlfriend?
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Now, that might be enough, you know what I mean? Even if it was an hour session for someone, that might be more than enough. 2 times it's standing, he did it really well. I'll say that. Worst thing you can do right now, daddy comes home, woo, so-and-so did it, you know what I mean? And he's like, oh, again, you know. Because I don't want play to turn into work.
Right. Right. Because then they don't want to do it. Because it's hard.
No, it's not that, well, they don't want to do it when it's hard, but babies don't work. The typical child, you'd be like, oh, you fell down, I'm so sorry. Oh, you did this is great. Oh, you know what I mean? You just let them
do what they do.
But for some reason, when we have these kind of kids, it gets very specific in tasks, and sometimes you just gotta
Forget to let them be
It's not that you
babies.
forget.
Well, I kind of do, because everybody tells you to do all these
That's what I'm
things.
saying. It's because you're influenced by that.
Okay.
Right.
I literally had our last nurse, say, you know, I think Bentley just wanted to cuddle. And I was like, when was the last time that I just sat down and just sat with him? No book involved, no switch involved, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm so worried about getting him station to station and getting every exercise in and every, and it's very
so that's
real.
why I like this stuff. Now he can just hang out and watch the iPad. Now I
Sure.
can still do this.
Sure.
I'm not making it
We're not
work.
forcing him
But
to
yeah,
do
it's not,
anything. We're not wondering, oh gosh, she's not reaching and doing this and moving legs at the same time.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the happy sounds come.
Well, again, that's when the surprises come. When you're not, it's sort of like that old saying, a watch pot never boils. You know. So,
Keep it simple, silly.
do you ever think, Mom?
What?
I'd be doing this.
Oh. It's amazing.
I'll bet you are in awe when you watch
I call her the
her.
miracle worker.
Well, I call her the baby whisperer at home. I'm like, yeah, we're going to baby whisperer.
I feel bad saying that because she passed away.
The baby whisperer?
Yeah, she died of cancer.
Oh, there was a real baby whisperer? I didn't realize that.
She paid, you had to pay like $5,000. She'd come into your house for a couple of times, but she knew the cries and how to put them to sleep and how to, you know, she knew your baby's language. That was her shtick, not for movement. But, so,
Wow, so thank you.
Never was a baby.
I didn't either. I didn't mean to steal her thunder and give it to Michelle, but she's our baby whisperer.
do you mind if